Hello everyone, CM here to make another video about the Guardians of the United States, and this time we're going to be going into part 1 of the corporate arc, alright? Hope you guys are ready for this. But I'm going to be introducing you guys to one of the most richest men in the world. Alright, but before I do that, I gotta tell you guys, do not watch this video if you're someone under the age of 18, as this video may or may not be made for kids, as this video will talk about some pretty sensitive topics that may not be suitable for kids, alright? So if you guys are still watching, I'm just letting you guys know now, you have been warned, alright? Do not watch this video if you're someone under the age of 18, alright? Or if you can't handle sensitive topics, okay? Alright, so let's get started. And the person we're going to be talking about the corporate arc, and we're going to be talking about the world's richest man and his backstory. But who is he? Well, I'm going to tell you who he is in 3, 2, 1. Alright. Hello, everyone. This is now entering the corporate arc, and this is the world's richest man, John D. Veller. Alright. JDV. Alright, now who is JDV, or who is John D. Rockefeller, or who is John D. Veller? Well, as he's right now, he's known as John D. Veller, the world's richest man. But who is he? What's his backstory? What's his abilities? What's his influence? What's his power? What companies does he own? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to do it right now. So let's begin. Let's begin his backstory, as in right here. Alright, let's begin. This is the oil company called Fossil Co. And Fossil Co. was founded in the year of June 19th, 1900. And Fossil Co's founder is the man by the name of John D. Veller, who is considered a legend in American history, as he is the first billionaire and the man who created America's oil infrastructure. And John D. Veller has been seen as a hero to the American economy. To the American economy. Sorry. Some has even created songs about him, or created songs that's for him, as he's such a legendary man. Someone who basically founded America's wealth class. He's basically the founder. He's the first billionaire in American history. All right. Now we're going to be talking about some more things, as in right here. As they not only did they create songs about him, and not only did they do that, but as in right here, and created a statue of him as well. However, during the 90s era, the oil company known as Fossil Co. was at one point on the verge of going out of business, as more competition was supposedly becoming too fierce, as throughout the decades more energy companies started to pop up. And not just that, the founder of Fossil Co., John D. Veller, was just diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer in the year of December 17th, 1995, and only has few years left to live. Okay. Alright, here we go again. However, as John D. Veller sits in his office room filled with anger and sadness and on the edge of committing suicide in his office room, but just then, a low but hushed voice calling to him from the shadows, and when John turns his head to see, the entity known as Mammon appears and makes a deal that John D. Veller cannot refuse. And the deal was, Mammon cures your brain cancer and makes you the absolute ruler of the free market in return, you become a member of my legion. Do you accept? Alright, as in right here, do you accept? Do you accept? And John D. Veller, with nowhere left to go, accepts and shakes Mammon's hand and infuses John with his magic and parts of his body, and especially his soul. And John D. Veller makes a promise to one day to reclaim his title, his youth, and his wealth, and become that heroic icon that America once looked up to all those years ago. All right, as really this is a story of a businessman, someone who has lost that innovation spirit, someone who was once looked up to as a symbol of economic prosperity and free markets, but is now being demonized and looked down upon, and should be and as many Americans believe that he should just be forgotten, as he's a symbol of hatred and oppression, because he's supposedly as he's a well-known advocate for free markets and everything else. All right, as he's someone who advocates for, who basically wants to return back to an era where America once appreciated free markets and appreciate those who truly work their butt off. Okay? And that's who John D. Veller is. That's his backstory. Now, next, I'm going to be talking about his abilities. Now, I'm going to be transferring in 3, 2, 1. Okay, transferring complete. Now, as you can see right here, this is John D. Veller. This is a depiction of him. All right. Matter of fact, now what I'm going to be talking about here is I'm going to be talking about his abilities, as in right here. You see, John D. Veller is an outwardly. Now, you might be wondering, what is that? Well, in the Gardens of the United States, there is, in fact, a power system. You have the mutants, which are basically the Guardians. You know, all the Guardians all have mutant abilities. You have the Manas, which is all the gatekeepers or anyone who works for the United States government who use mana, you know, black or white mana. But then you have the outwardlies. Now, the outwardlies, basically, how I describe them is that they're a type of people who basically draw their power from an outwardly source. All right, as in right here, John D. Veller is an outwardly. He's an outwardly who draws his power from Mammon, and he uses pollution magic. And this magic allows him to transfer and control and manipulate and become a smog or black slime pollution, or can transform parts of his body into slime. And this magic also allows him to emit toxic gases that makes the air environment unbreathable for his enemies, and has a fast regenerate ability, and in his most horrific ability yet, that being the more he consumes the environment or any organic matter, the more bigger and powerful he becomes. And has soul transformation. He can transfer his souls into multiple vessels or the environment or even parts of the earth, and has a strong immunity to any poison or toxins, and has superhuman strength, endurance, and durability, and telepathy, and immortality. Alright, matter of fact, he's actually been given the nickname right here, the Lord of the Earth and Environment, as Mammon has given him the ability to have power over to somewhat have little parts of have ability to have some over their power over the earth and the environment to some degree. Alright, however, I also have to warn you as well. I also have to tell you guys as well, as I'm going to be explaining to you a little bit further about the outwardly caste system, or the people who are outwardly, like John D. Veller. I'm going to be explaining to you a little bit further about them as well. And I'm going to be doing that, and I'm going to be doing it in, ready for this, I'm going to be doing it in 3, 2, alright, 1, as you can see right here. You see, as I've been telling you guys, the outwardly people also have a limit to how much magic that they can use. Alright, you see, outwardly people have the ability to draw magic from outwardly sources. However, they only have a limited amount of it. As in right here, you see this right here? Outwardly power meter. This is a power meter for outwardly individuals, and I'm going to explain to you what that is. As in right here, All right, hold on, right here. Outwardly power meter is a meter that helps determine how much of an outwardly has magic. And this very great meter also helps them regulate their magic in order to prevent them from running out. Now, this power meter is divided into 4 different zones that helps the outworlder to see how much magic he or she got, and if they need to be more conservative, more conservative with it or not. Also, every outworlder has the ability to summon this power meter whenever they want, especially if they feel like their magic is running out or low. Matter of fact, as you can see right here, these are the 4 different zones: blue zone, green zone, yellow zone, and red zone. Blue zone means that you're just full. You have a lot of power. You have all the you have a you're basically completely charged. Think of it like a phone. You know how phones are completely charged, like on 100%. However, then you have green zone, which kind of you still used a bit of it, but you didn't use too much. When you're on your phone a little bit, how it's on 100%, but if you're on it quite a while, it maybe drops down to like 90 or 80. You're safe. But then it gets to the yellow zone, in which how like when you're using your phone for quite a while, it drops down to like maybe 30, or not 30. It maybe drops down to like 50. You used it quite a bit, and it constantly drops down. Well, that's what happens to the Outworlder when he uses his magic. All right, as in he's kind of has 50% of his magic. He's kind of running low. But then when he gets to the red zone, that is truly a dangerous spot to be in. As when they enter the red zone, that means they're almost on the verge of almost running out of their magic. Now, Outworlders can restore their magic. It is possible for them to do that, but in order to do that, they have to be able to do something truly horrible, in which they have to make somewhat of a sacrifice to the entity that they made a deal with. Alright? Especially with, like, for example, John D. Veller made a deal with Mammon. So if he wants to restore his magic, he has to make a sacrifice. However, those who make sacrifices oftentimes ends up always in a bad result. There's always like a bad result to it, where in which they have to sacrifice something either of value to them, or they have to sacrifice something that's a part of them. Like some people who are outworldly individuals will even sacrifice parts of their body or even their wealth in order to retain or to restore their magic. Alright, so that is the outworldly power system. Outworldly power meter explained. I hope you guys like that. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed that, I hope you guys are liking this power system as well. I'm trying to explain a little bit better. I will be explaining to you guys a little bit better what that is. Also, the reason why John D. Veller called. Now, the next I'm going to be going into is I'm going to be talking about why John D. Veller is called the Lord of the Earth and Environment. I'm going to be doing it in 3, 2. All right, 1. See, the reason why John D. Veller is known as the Lord of Earth and Environment, the reason being is that he's managed to deceive the public. He's managed to use his power, his connections with many political figures within the government to basically brainwash people into thinking that he's this lover of the environment of the earth. Him and his company truly care about the environment. They love the environment. They're environmentally friendly. See how great their ESG card is? They're really a friendly company. Or not. As we all know, this is just basically greenwashing at its finest. Alright, matter of fact, he's managed to brainwash people into thinking that him and his company are these environmentally free companies, when in actuality, they're really not. Alright, matter of fact, his company itself is actually one of the most polluted companies in the entire world. Now, you might be wondering, why is John D. Veller doing this? Well, the reason why John D. Veller is doing this is that he's doing this because what he wants to do is that he wants to restore that that youth. He wants to restore not only his youth, but also wants to become America's icon again. As what he wants to do is he wants people to basically believe in the path of hard work. That instead of demonizing people, we should demonizing people who work hard. Instead, we should admire them for all their hard work. He's trying to do that. However, the problem is that he's doing it in the wrong way. He's using deception rather just being honest, rather than showing other way, rather just being honest about it. Like instead of like deceiving people into thinking that you're this environmentally free person, instead you should try to do other ways, and instead of engaging those deceitful tactics. You know, like how about instead of using greenwashing, you actually use your money to actually help out the environment. You're not just slapping a green label on something and then saying that, oh, yeah, we're environmentally friendly, because he really is not. All right? All right. Now, next, I'm going to be going into further detail. I'm going to be going into further detail again. I'm going to be talking about John D. Veller's fossil fuel company, that being Fossil Co. And I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be explaining to you this company, how big this company is, how much this company is, all the companies that also Fossil Co. owns and operates. All right. So get ready for that. You guys are going to enjoy that. And I'm going to be doing that. Ready for this? I'm going to be doing that in 3, 2, all right, here we go. This is JDV Fossil Co. This is the full This is the full name of John D. Veller's fossil fuel company, Fossil Co. All right, so let's get started. As in right here. Here it is, right here. Fossil Co. companies that are owned by Fossil Co. Fossil fuel companies that are owned by Fossil Co. Okay. Or company, you guys get what I'm saying. All right, JDV Fossil Fuel Oil Company owns 8 pharmaceutical companies and owns 13 advertisement companies and owns 60 energy companies and owns and funds several political PACs and owns 17 investment companies. As I said, all right, John D. Veller is well known for buying up a bunch of companies to add on to his wealth. All right, he's been known for buying instead of innovating. Instead, he tries to buy out his competition. That's why he owns 60 energy companies. Matter of fact, recently, if you guys didn't know this man, John D. Veller, is in fact actually rivaled with the Guardian of Georgia, that being Brittany Overton, or aka the Provider. He's been trying to do whatever he can to stop Brittany and her company Prometheus Torch, mainly due to the fact that her company is well known for being a electric and free energy, a company that focuses on trying to innovate and deliver free energy to people, while at the same time making a profit. Well, as you can tell, John D. Veller doesn't like that, as this company poses a humongous threat to his company and his wealth. Okay, so that is John D. Veller's. That is John D. Veller, JDV Fossil Fuel Company. Now I'm gonna be transitioning again. I'm gonna be doing this, and ready for this? I'm gonna be doing it in 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to follow me on my Twitter account at OddCinema899. And also, what did you guys think of this character? Did you like this character? Did you guys like the new power system I added, the Outworldlers? Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of them. And yeah, this is the corporate arc part 1, the most richest man in the world. All right, John D. Veller, founder of the fossil fuel company Fossil Co. All right, so let me guys know what you guys think of this guy and his wealth, as he is a billionaire, as he's the world's first billionaire owner. He has a $1 billion network, a network worth of 300 over at least $300 billion network, or even bigger, as he starts to own more and more companies, as he starts to add more companies to his wealth, to his empire, basically. So let me guys know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share comments, and don't forget to like and share a comment as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as I've been saying, may God bless.